Welcome to yet another episode of the Let's Keep It Real podcast. You're keeping it real with Austin and Mario. So, Mario, I really want to ask you this question, and it has to do with just how people live their lives paycheck to paycheck. And what does that mean to you? Like, how would you feel if every day you went to work for hours and hours on end and just for enough money to pay your bills or save a few dollars here and there? Like, how do you feel about that lifestyle?
That'd be annoying. That's honestly something I really want to experience. That's something that sounds like it's a terrible way to live. Because I feel like if you go about life living paycheck to paycheck, you're never really going to have like sustainability or comfortability. You never want to be too comfortable in life, but you want to be comfortable to a sense, because like otherwise, how are you going to be able to find comfort in your own home and be able to relax and just be able to sit down and just rest?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of problems are just like a lot of like family problems are just kind of created based by money. A lot of people put their problems into money. They grow from money and in some sort of way. And just how people work so hard for little pay like times just to save a little money to do something with and then spend it all anyways.
Yeah, I feel like that's definitely a problem. Money is like the source of a lot of problems. Money can be a source of good. It can also be a source of bad. It is just depends the way you look at it. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with like a piece of paper being like a currency and like that's what we work for. But if you really just think about it, like that's really all we work for is like this amount of money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I hate the idea that money is just paper. Like, money to me is like a sort of like a power than anything. I mean, yeah, and like in reality, it is just piece of paper. It is just currency. But there is so much power behind how you've gotten that money or where you are in life. Like, you see people driving sports cars or having super nice houses that isn't made out of paper, and they're real things. Like, money can buy real things and comfortability, but there is a bad side of money for sure.
I would definitely say I agree with you. Like it's not. Like I said, it technically is paper. It does have a lot of good, has a lot of good aspects, but it's just the bad that I don't like. It's just the bad. And that constantly reminds you just currencies in general, just like what it is nowadays, whether it's money, Bitcoin, whatever these other current currencies are, it's just kind of annoying to see people just throw their lives away for things like that. Because people all see these nice things and they want that life. They want to be able to have that lifestyle. They are tired of struggling and they want to be able to do what they've always wanted to do. But unfortunately, money is the thing that kind of holds them back. Even though they're like the hardest working people in the world, it doesn't really get reflected on how much they are paid.
Yeah, I definitely feel like the world shouldn't revolve around like money. Like, money shouldn't keep you from living that life that you want to live. And there's just a lot of people that have like a worry from working. Like, they work all the time and they have that worry of losing their job, worry of not being able to pay their bills, and they keep going through this cycle, this rat race every single day, just trying to keep up and get money. And it just revolves around their whole life, like their whole mood and what they can do with their life since they're working for money but really can't use it.
Yeah, especially for working men and women, especially ones who are parents, that's got to be the most annoying thing in the world. Like you see your paycheck and it's just not what you want to be. And it's just like not what you need because you want to give your kids so much more or you want to give people so much more. Because I know a lot of people out there are very nice, giving people. They want to give presents. They want to give stuff like that. I know from experience because my dad. Yeah, so I'm gonna share some personal experience that I know. My dad has shared this with me. When he was a kid, he didn't have much. His dad and mom, my grandparents, weren't really that great to him. He didn't have a whole lot that he really wanted when he was a kid. And he tries to give me everything that he can, and it upsets him when he's not able to get me what I want. And yes, we're a little spoiled, but he wants us to be that way rather than us have to struggle like he did and not be able to get what he wants because he used to be that kid looking on the other side of the glass and wanted to see and get the things that he's always wanted.
Yeah, and that's just in my perspective. That's what I would want to give, like my future. In my future, I want to give, and I just don't want to like, I don't want to fear money in a way, because I feel like a lot of people, a lot of families fear money, and that they base their life around money, and that's all they can get by on is that money, and they really can't give. And also, whenever people give, there's a lot of people that have that fear in money, and they just want to take it.
Give and take. That's just kind of how life is, unfortunately. Give and take. Not a lot of people want to give, but a lot of people want to take, you know. People just are, well, how can I really put that? So when I think of people, you know, they can be very given or they can take. You know, they're very two sided, very two faced. You know, anybody can be like that. It's just kind of like a nature thing. Of course, some people just are like that, but at the same time, it can just be in anybody's nature, and you know, it's not necessarily something that people can control. Like those people need money too. Those people need to put food on the table too. Those people need to do stuff too. So it's just all really just kind of annoying how you really look at it, because no matter what, there's always good and bad in these scenarios, and there's never going to be a situation where you can say the good outweighs the bad, because I feel like they both just cancel out each other.
Yeah, in a way, I want to be like, when I grow up, I want to be like more of a person that gives than rather takes or expects. Like I hate expecting somebody to do something or somebody to give me something. I mean, as a kid, I loved that, but just not like growing up and seeing how like things have not gotten any better really, and that's because I take a lot, and I don't expect it. I love like my parents love giving me stuff, but I really don't expect them to give me anything really anymore, because I feel like I'm more of a person that rather give towards them than anything.
Yeah, I definitely feel feel that. You know, I feel like I've taken a lot, and you know, I'm always asking for things. I feel like that's very annoying that I don't have my own source of income. You know, as somebody that wants to work, as somebody that wants to do this and that, of course, there's nothing really holding me back. But unfortunately, you know, some of us have different scenarios. Our parents want different things for us, and you know, I'd be working right now, I'd be buying my own things if it weren't for my parents wanting me to finish high school first. You know, because as soon as I can, you know, I want to be able to rely on myself and be able to work hard, because at the end of the day, working and money, you know, translate to each other. You work an hour, you get paid, you know. Say this, like that meal that you bought that was like $30 or like $40, that was like 2 or 3 hours of your life depending on where you work.
And that could have been like some of the most stressful hours you've ever worked too, that money went into. And I also feel like everything is just so much more expensive. I mean, I don't think, I know it's so much more expensive, but it just, it kills me to think that over time, like, it'll be harder to buy things. And that's just not how I want to live my life, is not being able to get things that I need really.
Yeah, that's a big thing about money too, you know, what is it called, like inflation, stuff like that. Well, not necessarily just that. Well, it was mainly COVID that like did something like that, and you know, prices just got inflated. It was really annoying. It's an unfortunate time in life, and you know, that's like a real world problem like right now. You know, gas prices, all that, like things are just expensive and cost a lot of money, and you're not able to get your, you know, what I think the term's bang for your buck now. You know, you're not able to just like spend this amount of money. Like say like chips used to be like $2.38, like somewhere around there, like you know, like around the exact price. You know, they wouldn't be $3, they wouldn't be $2. It'd be somewhere in the middle. It's because I remember a bag of Cheetos costing that much. Then when I went to the store, I'm seeing they're costing like $5 to $7 now. The prices are going up and down, deflated, inflated. It's really annoying to see how much food is put on the table now and how much food is put in front of you now, because of how expensive groceries have become and what COVID has done and how people have made it harder to make a living and everything like that. You know, that's why you're seeing a lot more homeless. That's why you're seeing a lot more people like that, and it's just kind of annoying to see.
And that's how you can wrap it up pretty much. Our topic is just how things like prices are going higher. It's harder to get stuff that you need anymore for the same price, and you're working all for that too. And that wraps just how like you're working all these hours and for somebody that probably doesn't care about you really, and you're working for them pretty much your whole life just to afford common things that you need. And that's just not how anybody should live. I feel like that money should be working towards you, working for you, than working for somebody.
Oh yeah, I feel like definitely we should be getting paid too, like pretty hefty. You know, like employers are getting paid a bunch for these type of things, and I feel like we should definitely be getting paid like set amount of money because we're working just as hard.
I gotta ask you another question. So, do you feel like people that start off getting a little bit of money, um, and then they work up to getting a lot of money, statistically speaking, those people that get paid all that money still end up going into debt even more than they did before?
NFL
Isn't that
players,
crazy?
NFL players are a big example of that.
Yeah, and just anybody. My parents make a lots of money together. They make tons of money. But their number one problem is money and how they're going to afford groceries. And I can't even imagine other families that don't even have a job near my family's jobs. But we are still somehow in debt just by how the way that we're living. So like you're getting paid more and more. You're going to start living a lifestyle that's more and more. Such as like my dad, like he got a big inheritance and now he's spending his money in ways that he doesn't know how to spend it. And then every day his main problem is money, even though he makes more money than I don't know anybody's parents make. And he's just himself and he's making all this money, but people that make a lot of money also don't know how to spend it. So I feel like there's also a system of how money works and how you can get it to work for you instead of against you, because that is a big problem in society. It's just people spending on money on things that they think they need, but it's really not getting them anywhere because rat race, they're just going in circles and circles and circles. Their lifestyle goes higher and higher and higher up as they make more money. But then in the end, they're still the same person they were before.
Yeah, I feel like definitely that's true. You know, that's a great question. You know, how are people still staying afloat while, you know, we're in this difficult time that we are, you know, with everything being so expensive and within people living paycheck to paycheck and not having as good as jobs as everybody. You know, it's a great question. Also, I have no clue what I was talking about earlier, if I'm being honest. Like, I did, but I had no clue where I was going. So I appreciate you kind of leaning off and going to a different path because I was struggling with the words to try and find, but that kind of like sums up basically what I'm like kind of thinking overall with this topic. You know, basically people are able to like live and do stuff like that because people are still working hard. They're working extra hours. They're working long hours. It's not so if you're working like a harder job like that, you have to like work more hours because you know you're required more hours. Like say for example you do construction or you do a lumber yard or something like that, you work extra hours. You know you're not getting paid as much, and I say that's a harder job. Number one, that's physical. Some jobs aren't necessarily hard like that. You just have to. They're harder because you're not getting paid as much, so you have to work extra hours to basically live and be able to afford groceries. You know, it's kind of a terrible thing, and it repeats like this endless cycle that you're in, and it's kind of annoying. Because like I said, we talked about, I don't know if we've talked about on an episode, like kind of breaking the cycle and kind of getting out of it. You know, you just kind of have to do that. You just kind of have to figure it out. And overall, that's just kind of how, you know, life kind of works. And there's nothing we can really do about it unless we do something ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. Just doing something yourself. Recently, I've been reading this book, and it's really showed me that honestly, working for nothing is even better than working for money, because working for nothing shows you how much work you can put into something to build something than just every day working for that job or every day working for that person that in all is just going to make that fear of money towards you. I mean, I would hate to work for nothing, but if I saw that nothing grow into something bigger than I can possibly imagine, then I would take any step I could to get there.
Yeah, I think that about sums up everything we're talking about today. This is Let's Keep It Real with Austin and Mario, and thank you for listening today.